Welcome to all of you. In the previous session, we have seen few properties of the discrete Fourier transform, that is the linearity, periodicity and circular shift of the sequence. Now in this session, we are going to see few more properties of the discrete Fourier transform. Okay, so we start our discussion with time reversal of the sequence. The time reversal of n-point sequence x of n is attained by wrapping a sequence x of n around the circle in clockwise direction. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to wrap the provided x of n, okay, along a circle in clockwise direction, and this is denoted as x of minus n modulo n. Okay, if it is counterclockwise direction, then it will be written as x of n modulo n. But now here we are going to arrange our sequence in clockwise direction. So we have written this sequence as x of minus n modulo n. Okay, and here this x of minus n modulo n is also given as x of n minus n for the provided sequence is in between, or n is in between 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so if DFT of x of n is given as x of k, then the DFT of x of minus n modulo n is equal to DFT of x of n minus n, okay, which can also be written as x of minus k modulo n, or we can say this as x of n minus k. Okay, now we have to prove this. Okay, so DFT of, according to the equation, DFT of x of n minus n is given as summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n minus n into e raised to minus j 2 pi n k divided by n. Okay, so changing the index from n to m, we have, changing the index from n to m is equal to n minus n, we get the equation as DFT of x of n minus m is equal to summation from m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of m into e raised to minus j 2 pi k n minus m divided by n. Okay, so after simplification we have the summation from m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of m into e raised to j 2 pi km divided by n. Okay, as e raised to j 2 pi k has the value is equal to 1 for all the values of k. Okay, so it has value is equal to 1. So replacing this we have. Okay, so what we have to do here? We have to multiply our equation by this value. So now our equation becomes summation from m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of m into e raised to. Okay, just we have to multiply our equation by this term. Okay, so e raised to minus j 2 pi m multiplied by n minus k divided by n. Okay, so here we have, okay, this term is nothing but x of n minus k. Okay, so thus we have proved here that the DFT of x of n minus m is equivalent to x of n minus k. Okay, so this property is nothing but the time reversal of the sequence. Okay, now our next property is nothing but the circular frequency shift. So if the DFT of x of n is given as x of k, then the DFT of x of n multiplied by e raised to j 2 pi ln divided by n is equal to x of k minus l modulo n. Okay, so this is nothing but the circular shift property. Okay, so how to prove this? Okay, we know that according to the definition, the DFT of x of n into e raised to j 2 pi ln divided by n is equal to summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n into e raised to j 2 pi ln divided by n. Okay, this is our whole sequence multiplied by e raised to minus j 2 pi nk divided by n. Okay, so after simplifying this, we have summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n multiplied by e raised to minus j 2 pi n k minus l divided by n. So summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 becomes x of n into e raised to minus j 2 pi n multiplied by n plus k minus l divided by n. Okay, just we have rearranged the terms here. Okay, so what is this? This is nothing but the Fourier transform of n plus k minus l. So here whatever is the term in the power that will come here, x of n plus k minus l. Okay, so this can also be written as x of k minus l modulo n. Okay, so this is nothing but the circular frequency property. Okay, our next property is nothing but the complex conjugate property. So if DFT x of n, okay, DFT of x of n is given as x of k, then the DFT of x complex conjugate of n is equivalent to summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x complex conjugate of n into e raised to minus j 2 pi nk divided by n. Okay, so here it is summation from, here we can write this as summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n into e raised to j 2 pi nk divided by n, the whole complex conjugate. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken the complex conjugate of whole term. Okay, so this can also be written as summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n into e raised to minus j 2 pi n into n minus k divided by n of complex conjugate. So what we have done here, we have just multiplied the term by e raised to minus j 2 pi, okay, into n divided by n, see, which is equivalent to 1. Okay, so by multiplying the term 1, that will cause no any effect on the equation. Okay, now again here this is nothing but, or this equation is nothing but complex conjugate of n minus k here. Okay, so power is n minus k. So here it is n minus k, and as this equation is complex conjugate, then it will be the complex conjugate of x. Okay, so here the DFT of x complex conjugate of n will become equal to x complex conjugate of n minus k. Okay, so this is about the DFT. Now what about the IDFT, inverse discrete Fourier transform? Okay, so in that case also we can prove the complex conjugate properties. Okay, so here it states that the IDFT of X complex conjugate of K is given as 1 upon n summation from K is equal to 0 to n minus 1 X complex conjugate of K into e raised to j 2 pi nk divided by n. Okay, so this is according to our equation of IDFT. So this equation now becomes 1 upon n multiplied by summation from k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k e raised to minus j 2 pi nk divided by n, the whole complex conjugate. Okay, so this is nothing but 1 upon n multiplied by summation from k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k into. Okay, now what we have to do, again in the same manner we have to multiply the whole equation by e raised to j 2 pi. Okay, so multiplying by e raised to j 2 pi will have no any effect on the equation. So multiply this in this way. So by multiplying it will become e raised to j 2 pi k into n minus n the whole divided by n of complex conjugate. Okay, so that it is nothing but the x complex conjugate of n minus n. Okay, so here we can say that the DFT and IDFT of x complex conjugate of k is equivalent to x complex conjugate of n minus n. Okay, so this is nothing but the complex conjugate property. Okay, so here we are going to see the next property of DFT, that is nothing but the circular convolution. Okay, so it is our seventh property. So what this circular convolution states? Let here the x1 of n and x2 of n are the finite duration sequences. Both are having the length is equivalent to n. Okay, the length of these two sequences is equivalent to n here. Okay, so DFT of this x of n, x1 of n is denoted as x1 of k, and DFT of x2 of k is denoted as x2 of n is denoted as x2 of k. Okay, now we have to find out the sequence x3 of n, okay, for which the DFT is x3 of k. Okay, where this x3 of k is equivalent to the multiplication of the two sequence or two DFTs, x1 of k into x2 of k. Okay, so what is x3 of k? It is nothing but multiplication of x1 of k and x2 of k. Okay, so we have to find the x3 of n. Okay, here. Okay, now here we know that for the periodic sequence x3 p of n, the equation for DFT is written as m is equivalent to 0. The x3 p of n has the equation equivalent to m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 p of m into x2 p of n minus m. Okay, so we can write it here that the x3 p of n modulo n is equivalent to summation from m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of m modulo n x2 of n minus m modulo n. Okay, so for the n lies in between 0 to n minus 1. Okay, our sequence x3 of n modulo n is given as x3 of n. Okay, similarly here the x1 of m modulo n is given as x1 of m. Okay, so here x3 of n is given as summation from m is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of m into x2 of n minus m modulo n. Okay, so this represents the circular convolution of x1 and x2. Okay, so x1 of n and x2 of n. Okay, so this is nothing but the equation of circular convolution. Okay, so here we can represent this x3 of n as x1 of n, circular convolution with length n, x2 of n. Okay, so the DFT of x1 of n, circular convolution with x2 of n is equal to x1 of k multiplied by x2 of k. Okay, so this is the circular convolution property. Okay, so the DFT of the circular convolution of two sequences is equivalent to the simple multiplication of Fourier transform of two individual sequences. Okay, now the next property is nothing but the circular correlation property. Okay, so what this property states here? Okay, so for a complex valued sequence x of n and y of n, if the DFT of x of n is equal to x of k and the DFT of y of n is equivalent to y of k, then the DFT of the circular convolution of both these sequences is given as DFT of summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n y complex conjugate of n minus l modulo n, okay, which can also be written as x of k multiplied by complex conjugate of y of k, okay, where x bar of xyl is the circular correlation between the two sequences x of n and y of n. Okay, so this is nothing but the circular correlation property. Okay, simply what we have to do, if we have to find out the discrete Fourier transform of the two sequences, then we have to just take the individual discrete Fourier transforms of the two sequences and take the complex conjugate of the second sequence, okay, and multiply it together. Okay, now the next property is the multiplication of two sequences. Okay, that is the ninth property. Okay, multiplication of the two sequences. So this property states that the DFT of x1 of n is given as x1 of k and the DFT of x2 of n is provided as x2 of k, then the DFT of x1 of n multiplied by x2 of n is equivalent to 1 upon n into x1 of k circular convolution with x2 of k. Okay, so to find out the DFT of multiplication of two sequences, what we have to do? We have to just take the circular convolution of the two individual DFTs and multiply it with 1 upon n. Okay, so that is nothing but the multiplication of two sequences. The last one is the Parseval's theorem. Okay, so this is another property of the discrete Fourier transform. Okay, so it states that the DFT of x of n is provided as x of k and the DFT of y of n is provided as y of k, then the summation from n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n into y star of n is equal to 1 upon n summation from k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k multiplied by y complex conjugate of k. Okay, so here it is nothing but the Parseval's theorem. Okay, so we have seen in this session the different properties of the DFT, like the time reversal property, the circular frequency shift property, the complex conjugate property, okay, again the circular convolution, circular correlation, multiplication of the two sequences, as well as the Parseval's theorem. Okay, so here the properties of discrete Fourier transform are over. Okay, so I hope this session is helpful for you for your further studies. Thank you.